6:45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The morning news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Soundithavam. New health guidelines will be in effect until the 31st of October. About 10 teacher trade unions are ready to return to duty next week. The Finance Minister says that the present 11.5% budget deficit will be reduced to a single digit. World Food Day falls today. The Minister of Agriculture says all the fertilizers required for the Maha season will be provided on time. In foreign news, more than 30 people were killed in a suicide attack at Kandahar Mosque during prayers. And in sports, Chennai Super Kings have been crowned Indian Premier League champions for the 4th time. The Director General of Health Services has issued new preventive guidelines in a bid to further prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus within the country. The government's effort to keep the pandemic under control have shown positive results. However, there is still a significant increase in the transmission of the virus, Dr. SLBC said in his communique. Accordingly, new guidelines will be in effect until the 31st of October, were issued to be followed by the public. As per the guidelines, cinemas will be open with 25% of the total capacity. Meanwhile, weddings will be permitted with maximum 50 guests indoor and 75 outdoor. Non-COVID funerals will be allowed to be held with 20 people at any given time. Chairperson of the Sri Lanka Podujana Education Services Union, Vasantha Handanapangoda, says that despite the teacher principal strike, 10 educational service associations, including them, the Sri Lanka Public Education Services Association, the Sri Lanka Independent Pioneer Teachers Association, and the Sri Lanka Independent Teachers Association, are preparing to engage in teaching activities from October 21st. Representatives of these associations say that they are ready to join the teaching process after the commencement of schools with less than 200 children on October 21st. She said the government has given solutions to the teachers' and principals' salary issue. She further said that various groups are influencing teachers who are willing to report for duty when schools reopen on Thursday. She pointed out that certain groups are trying to help to achieve the political aims of certain non-governmental organizations. The Minister of Public Security, Dr. Sarath Veerasekara, assured that full security will be given to the teachers who come to school voluntarily when the schools reopen on the 21st. The minister stressed that if any person or group tries to intimidate or threaten a teacher, the law will be enforced irrespective of their status. The Ministry of Education has decided to reopen the primary classes grade 1 to 5 of schools where there are students numbering below 200 on October 21st for learning activities. The decision was taken to reopen schools in several phases following the recommendations of the Health Ministry. Accordingly, 3,000 such schools will reopen under selected criteria. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa says that the present 11.5% budget deficit will be reduced to a single digit at the upcoming budget. The budget deficit is expected to end during the next few years within his term as the Finance Minister. The government expects to include many relief measures for the common masses in this budget. Minister Rajapaksa further said that the government expects some near-term inflationary pressure due to global price movement, and a surge in global commodity prices prompted the government to remove the maximum retail price on several essential commodities. It is likely to cause headline inflation to deviate to somewhat from the target level of 4 to 6% in the short term. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry says 666 more people were tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka yesterday. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of coronavirus reported in the country to 530,421. As many as 491,958 recoveries and 13,449 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the outbreak of the pandemic. More than 25,000 active cases are currently under medical care. The total number of people who died of COVID-19 infection in Sri Lanka moved up to 13,449 as 20 more fatalities were confirmed by the Director General of Health Services on Thursday. World Food Day falls today. This event is celebrated on the 16th of October every year to commemorate the founding of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO. The theme of this year's World Food Day is the transformation of agri-food systems to build better production, better nutrition, a better environment and a better life, leaving no one behind. The message of World Food Day is more critical than ever. Climate shocks, conflict and the COVID-19 pandemic have disrupted millions of lives and livelihoods in the past year, while humanitarian emergencies in Afghanistan, Haiti and other hotspots have worsened global food security. The FAO Director General Q Dongyu says more than 3 billion people, almost 40% of the world's population, cannot afford a healthy diet. We need to change how we produce and consume our food and build more resilient, inclusive and robust food systems that create a difference. Archaeologist Professor Gamini Ranasinghe, Director General of the Central Cultural Fund, has announced that all museums and archaeological sites belonging to the Central Cultural Fund, which had been closed to local and foreign tourists for several months due to the COVID-19 epidemic, will be reopened for tourists as usual. Accordingly, all museums and projects under the control of the Central Cultural Fund, including Polonnaruwa, Sigiriya, Kataragama, Galle, Kandy and Anuradhapura, which are popular tourist attractions, will be opened in accordance with the health rules and guidelines and relevant circulars. That came to you in local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidamahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutkamaga, says that bioliquid fertilizer is being distributed to cultivate 50,000 hectares in the Ampara district at present. The Maha season began this week and many farmers in the country are getting ready for paddy cultivation. The Minister of Agriculture stated that 30,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer containing potassium chloride have been brought to the island from Lithuania, which is due to be distributed during the Maha season. The minister said that all the fertilizers required for the cultivation of the Maha season will be provided on time and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The water supply for parts of Colombo will be suspended for 13 hours at 8 p.m. today. Colombo 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 will be affected by this water cut, according to the National Water Supply and Drainage Board. People in these areas are advised to store water for use during this period, and that came to you in Watch Light.
World News.
Making headlines this morning, more than 30 people were killed in a suicide attack at Kandahar Mosque during prayers. The US to lift COVID travel ban for fully jabbed on 8th November. And Conservative MP Sir David Amess was stabbed to death. More than 30 people were killed and dozens more injured after blasts tore through a Shia mosque during Friday prayers in the Afghan city of Kandahar. Pictures from inside the Bibi Fatima Mosque show shattered windows and bodies lying on the ground while other worshippers try to help. A local reporter quoted by Reuters news agency said eyewitnesses described 3 suicide attackers. One reportedly detonated their device at the door of the mosque, with 2 more setting off theirs inside the building. The US has said that it will reopen its borders to fully vaccinated travellers from 33 countries on 8th November. Under new rules announced by the White House, vaccinated people who have had a negative test in the 72 hours before travelling will be allowed to enter. The move marks the end of the tough restrictions that have been imposed on travellers since early last year. Quote, "This policy is guided by public health, stringent and consistent," a White House spokesman said, unquote. Conservative MP Sir David Amess has died after being stabbed at his constituency surgery in Essex. The police said a 25-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder after the attack at a church in Leigh-on-Sea. They said they recovered a knife and were not looking for anyone else in connection with the incident. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said, quote, "Our hearts are full of shock and sadness at the loss of one of the kindest people in politics," unquote. Sir David, 69, had been an MP since 1983 and was married with 5 children. To conclude this bulletin of world news, the headlines once again. More than 30 people were killed in a suicide attack at the Kandahar Mosque during prayers. The US to lift COVID travel ban for fully jabbed on the 8th of November. And Conservative MP Sir David Amess was stabbed to death. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
And now in development news.
More than 1,500 rural tanks have been renovated so far under the Varis Saubhagya National Programme. At a discussion at the Irrigation Department, Minister Chamal Rajapaksa said the progress of the project has exceeded 65%. The water capacity of all renovated tanks has increased. It directly contributes to the National Food Production Programme and came to you in development news.
Sports news.
Chennai Super Kings have been crowned Indian Premier League champions for the 4th time after beating Kolkata Knight Riders by 27 runs in the final. Faf du Plessis hit a terrific 86 off 59 balls and Moeen Ali scored a 20-ball 37 as Chennai posted 192 for 3 from 20 overs. Shubman Gill 51 off 43 and Venkatesh Iyer 50 off 32 hit half-centuries before Kolkata collapsed, losing 8 wickets for 34 runs in Dubai. Captain Ian Morgan managed just 5 as the Kolkata Knight Riders reached 165 for 9. Chennai, led by Captain MS Dhoni, add another trophy to the cabinet, having won the IPL in 2010, 2011 and 2018. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has made an order permitting Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC SFSP to resume business for a limited period of 6 months with effect from last Wednesday. The move in terms of Section 31(5)A of the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011 FBA is for the purpose of exploring the possibility of absorbing the company to the Master Plan for Consolidation of Non-Bank Financial Institutions sector. That came to you in business news. We look at economic news next.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's inflation will spike in the near future as the government removed the control prices, central bank officials said, while ruling out inflation hitting double digits. With the cancellation of the price controls, the price of cooking gas, rice, cement, wheat flour and milk powder have risen significantly. Chandranath Amrasekara, the director of the Central Bank's Economic Research Department, said the global energy prices have risen sharply, with crude prices rising 62.2% year-to-date, LP cooking gas by 74.4% and coal by 202.3%. In addition to this, he said, the prices of dairy, cereal, oil, sugar and milk powder are also in a rising trend in 2021. That's economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Martara districts. A few showers may occur in the northern province during the morning. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. The wind speed can increase up to 40 km per hour at times in the western slopes of the central hills, northern, north-central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. New health guidelines will be in effect until the 31st of October. About 10 teacher trade unions are ready to return to duty next week. The Finance Minister says that the present 11.5% budget deficit will be reduced to a single digit. World Food Day falls today. The Minister of Agriculture says all the fertilizers required for the Maha season will be provided on time. More than 30 people were killed in a suicide attack at Kandahar Mosque during prayers. And the Chennai Super Kings have been crowned Indian Premier League champions for the 4th time. That concludes this morning's news broadcast.